Okay, here it is, the middle of February. Beautiful day out. I'm going to go back and cover a couple things that I've talked about before. Kind of touch up on the Waits River fire, the first fire, show you some pictures of some of the buildings that were there at the time. I dug up the Topsham Sketches 2 book, which has got a lot of great photographs in it, and I recommend you have this book if you don't already have it. So, I was telling about the fire, and I wanted to show you here. This was the original mill building from here to here. There's the smokestack. This is where I lived. This is taken in, it says 1941, but that's baloney because there was a barn built here in 1920 or something. So this has to be like 1910 or something. That's when that house was built. Okay, so we got the mill. When that burned, it burned the store. This is Bragg's house. And it caught the church steeple on fire. There was a little house down in here that burned on one side of the road and blacksmith shop on the other. It got really hot here at Victor Welch's. It got Sawyer's barn really hot. There was actually, at that, when the fire, when it burned in 53, there was actually another building on the end of this, so it was even a bigger complex. But that doesn't look like it would reach, but it fell. When it fell, it landed over here on this side of the, there's the river right there, it landed over here, part of it, so it landed on our property. It got hot enough so it cracked a window in that house. So, I wanted to show you, I don't know if you can even see it, that little building sticking up right there, the roof, that's the Nutt Brown house. And I've mentioned that before because there was a family by the name of Nutt, N-U-T-T. This is the post office, and Lola Nutt ran the post office when I was a kid, but this was called, later on I found out, it was called a Nutt Brown house. When, somewhere along in the 50s, early 60s, Bill and Eleanor Gendron moved into that there. And they were great friends of mine. They had 4 kids. They had Bruce and Mike and Jesus Christ, you know me and my memory.
Hey, I kind of have a question. I'm going to interrupt. Yeah. So I grew up calling them the Jondros, and now we call them the Gendrons?
Yeah, Eleanor slapped me and straightened me out on that at one point. It was spelled Gendron, but because he was a Frenchman, they called him Jondro.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, that was why.
So it was Gendron, is the way they said it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and another question.
Yeah.
Nutt Brown. What's the brown?
It was brown. The house was brown.
Oh, okay. But and the people
brown, the brown nut house, so the Nutt Brown house.
Got it. Okay. And you had got to a point where you had forgotten something, and now I forgot what you forgot.
I can't believe it. It's very embarrassing, but.
Oh, the names of the. That's okay. Yeah. We can move on.
Well, I'll get them.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's terrible. Anyway, there's the house. Bill Gendron, or Jondro, he grew up on Wild Hill over in West Fairleigh. One of his brothers was Leon Gendron. Pete, he ran a garage in Bradford. Pete Gendron ran the store over in Piermont for years. He had a sister that married oh God, I can't think of his name. I can't think of the name. But anyway, they called her Sis. I don't know what her real name was. But anyway, they were good family. And then he married Eleanor Gendron, who was an Oliver. Her father was Stanley Oliver, and her mother was one of those Olivers. Jeez.
I think maybe the names, yeah.
Yeah, today I'm having trouble.
We don't have to do their family tree, right?
Right, well, I know, but I kind of like to give it some context. So anyway, okay. I was great friends with Bill and Eleanor. I used to hang out with them because it wasn't that far from here to there, but the living conditions and the way people lived and acted was a lot different in this house than they were in that house. I was really comfortable over there because, you know, it was a little more fun. It was fun because my house was kind of dry and boring, and that place was fun. So I went over there a lot. Bill and I used to horse around and go to the races together. He had an old 38 Plymouth pickup that, God, even what little time I knew he had it, I know he blew the engine in it twice because he'd stick some old junk engine in it. But we'd go with it, and it was great fun. We used to, he horsed around with Shirley Sawyer and Edson Harrington. They were married. Shirley grew up in this, right here in the Sawyers, but she wasn't there at that point. But anyway, I think Bill knew Edson from the quarries. He worked over there for a while. So one time I had an old Volkswagen convertible, and I used to love to go all over the place. So one day I took it and drove way the hell off up in this, where it's called the Poor Farm up in here, because there used to be one up there. And I drove way up in there, way the hell off up in there, and my car conked out. My old VW quit on me. So, or I got stuck or something, but I don't remember exactly what happened. But Bill, I came down, Bill got in his old pickup, and we drove up through. Got up there, and he was pushing me. How does that work? I was trying to remember why that was that way, but he was pushing me with his pickup, and he was somehow, the pickup, the bumpers didn't meet up just right, and so he set on the hood of my Volkswagen so that so it would line up better, did somehow anyway, but somehow in that mess we got going down through there, and I had to hit the brakes because I don't know, I thought I was going too fast, and he was sitting on the hood. Somebody else was up there, and they was running the truck apparently. But anyway, I tapped the brakes, and his short little legs went down across that pasture about 100 miles an hour. Man, like a cartoon, but he didn't lose his footing. He was just a little guy, but he could run. But it was funny. I had a lot of great times. At that time there was a lot of kids in the village. Gosh, because it was right after World War II, and everybody that was there had a whole bunch of kids. So it was a great place to grow up. And I said it before, I'm just happy I grew up there, that's all. Thank you.